Welcome back to the show. Today is February 15th, 2022, and we are back with the news. Sorry for the slight problem last week. I was on holidays in Miami and Chicago, part work, part holidays, but we're back. We're back, and we actually have new lamps thanks to our intern, Thomas, which will be leaving us this week. So thank you, Thomas, for all the help during this time. But let's start with thanking the sponsors. The news is sponsored by Analogue Spotlight, a group of photographic retailers and manufacturers who have joined together to support analog photographic media and keep analog photography thriving worldwide. The brands are Cameradactyl, Kosmo Foto, Chroma cameras, Riveni Labs, RealitySoSubtle, Intrepid cameras, Pixl-ltr, Brooklyn film cameras, ONDU cameras, standard cameras, 20th century cameras, Pictoriographica, Analogue Wonderland, Cinestill, large format camera store, Carmencita Film Lab, RH Designs, Ars Imago, and Alvandi cameras. So thanks to the sponsors for keeping the news open for everybody. And let's get to the news. We have 2 weeks of news. Maybe the biggest topic is color. Last week, or yeah, probably, no, around 2 weeks ago, we had the news that the companies that were forming the new Orwo, which I made a video a while ago, were all filing for bankruptcy. First of all, everybody online went crazy thinking that we were losing that option or dream of new color film from Orwo, but it seems like it was a bankruptcy due to restructure. Sometimes companies have too much debt or have too much logistical contracts and distribution networks that they can't break, so they file for bankruptcy to kind of like clean the slate and start fresh. This is what seems to have happened through Orwo. Like I said, it's Innovascope, Filmotech, Orwo, and some others. I think it's Seal, 1818, something like that. They are all now bankrupt and hopefully reunited under one company that will hopefully bring color film. They have confirmed that they are working on color film for motion picture, so with ECN2 development with Remjet. And they've also confirmed that they'll have a new, if I'm not wrong, 100-speed film, black and white, around summer this year for still photography, so 35mm canisters. So good news in the bad news. Obviously, it's never good news to have to restructure a company like that, but hopefully it's for the best. Then, the other color news last week was basically Adox with their Color Mission 200. So if you've seen the interview that or talk that Mirko from Adox did at the Helsinki Photo Fair in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, he said the color film is possible, but it would require years and years and lots of money to do. He seems to have a master plan for this to happen, which is what they've called Adox Color Mission 200. It's a film that's actually like a reverse Kickstarter. They're not asking for money and then making a product. They've already made a product and they're selling it to fund the research. So this is a 200-speed film, color negative film that was produced by partnership with a coding company that went bankrupt after. We don't know if this is ACFA, if this is Innovascope, if it's Filmotech, or who it is. Nobody's disclosed this so far, but it's a 200-speed film that was made a few years ago, and I've heard that it was in the freezer waiting to come out, and maybe they needed to be at a certain position to sell this, or to have the resources to study color film and research color film, or maybe they were waiting for color film prices to be at that level that they're charging. This film comes at 12 euros at Photo Impex. They have sold out the first day of pre-orders. They have more film coming. They said they would have enough to supply while they do the research. They have said that their color research is not going to take a year. It's probably going to be more 3 to 4 years, which is honestly not that long if you think about how long it takes to make color film. And hopefully this will come. So if you're into supporting a company that already has a product that you can buy to support them, you can buy this Color Mission 200 for 12 euros a roll to support Adox making color film down the road. One could also wonder what is happening with Adox, because they also were going to make paper and they've had issues with that. They were going to make 120. They've had issues with that. So invest your money wisely. Think about what could happen, but at least you get a product. Worst case scenario, we actually also get a new color film from Adox. But yeah, take into consideration all these things that are not so simple to put together. Like I said, color film is not that easy. I do have an opinion video I'm working on about color film, but that will come soon as I was jet lagged from my trip yesterday. Then we have a film camera tester. This is being sent to me through social media. It's a camera tester that seems to be like the Kyoritsus of the time, but is made with an Arduino and actually looks really good. It does promise a lot of things that would be fascinating if they actually were 100% true. I haven't tested it out. Like I said, it's $180, so you can buy it made, or you can actually, I think, even make it yourself. It's on GitHub. But if you're into testing cameras, or you maybe want to test it, it's not that expensive. The previous versions that were, previous iterations of film testers that were sold have been discontinued, so there's not much left except for the Filmo plug or the Foto plug from Filmomat, which is a very, very basic version. This says it can do medium format, that it can do shutters, curtains from left to right, and like all kinds of things that are super cool. So if you're into that thing, you can check it out. Then Vladimir 4x5 focus target seems to be coming to a reality. He's actually made some changes to it, like including gray areas on the film, so you can actually see if there's any problem with your light source having differences in the spread of light, so you can actually crop a piece of that gray and move it in Photoshop when you're trying to set up your digitizing. These are digitizing focus and I guess light patterns, positive things, targets to do that. I'm explaining myself horribly, but you can go to his website, check it out. They're not on his website yet. I found it through a Facebook group. I'll leave a link to both below. Then we have Fuji in the news once again with strange movements. They are changing the packaging for the 120 film. One thing that's interesting, it's Velvia 50, Velvia 100F, and I'm forgetting the other one, Velvia 100 I think only, but it doesn't look like Provia is getting changed. And what they're doing is they said they had 2 lines of boxes for the 120, the Pro Pack, the 5-roll pack. They had a Japanese version and a worldwide version, which was in English. Seems like now they're streamlining to only the Japanese. This makes me worried, thinking that they're once again pulling back from film production and film sales, which is obviously the thing that's been happening with Fuji throughout a decade. But take it as is. It's all in Japanese. I'll leave it below. You can read all about it. Then we have news once again from Conflict Cameras. Conflict is a company that still hasn't released a full product to the market, but is sending updates through Instagram and emails. So thank you. He's based here in Finland so far. And this is the RF module. So imagine it as an external module that you can use on different cameras, mainly for large format cameras. And what it does is it has I'll read it, accelerometer and gyro accelerometer for digital levels. So you could actually even have a level inside. It has a interface that you can change, and he puts a video of it making it very futuristic, but obviously for normal use it wouldn't be so convoluted. It is just for representation of what he can do. But also has, it's crazy, I'll leave the list of things, but calibrated multiple lenses into the unit. It has digital projected frame lines, so 6x12 or 4x5 and so on. Accurate, fully corrected projected frame lines for all formats, 612, etc. Suitable for focal lengths from 135mm to 250mm on 4x5 film. Focuses down to 55 centimeters from the front of the finder. Integrated semi-spotlight meter. Calculates bellows compensation automatically for the exposure. Calculates depth of field in front and behind the focus point, etc., etc. How does this work? It basically is a computer, and it has a Wi-Fi or transmitter that goes on the basically focus rail of a camera or focusing cone of a large format camera. And as you extend it, it will understand that it's extending itself and do all these voodoo magic things that he's included. This will be available soon for people to purchase for 3D printed projects like the Leggero LG or the Cameradactyl projects, the Homunculus and the OG and all this stuff, which is very, very cool. No other news on the pricing and so on, but you should follow the project, Conflict Project, on Instagram, basically. Then we have PPP repairs with a M2, M3, MP rewind lever. If you know, the Leica basically rewind on the old versions is like a little knob that comes out that's like knurled, and it's kind of slow and kind of uncomfortable. I actually really enjoy it. I don't find it a problem. But this is a device that will let you spool faster, kind of like the M4, M6, M7, and so on. It kind of lets you go faster. Do take note, this is made out of brass by PPP Repairs. He also sells it with a little shutter button made out of brass. This, if you're not careful, will scratch the top plate of your camera. My M2 has scratches from a previous product from someone else. So take that into consideration if you don't want to scratch it. But it's available already for orders. Then we have nons with the SL660 Instax Square camera. It will be coming to Kickstarter soon, I think tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. And it's going to be $445 US. We'll shoot Instax Square and we'll mount an array of lenses like Contax EF, Canon EF, Pentax K, Nikon, and so on. It seems that it's going to be basically for EF mount, so anything that's compatible, adaptable to Canon EF, it will work. And they've created their own like enlargement for the circle, so those images, that the lenses that only do full frame will cover the square with a bit of fall off and so on, but you can use it like they've done in the previous nons camera. Then we have rumors, or seems to be semi-leaked, of a new lens by Voigtlander, a 40mm f2.8 LTM. This is the most exciting part. LTM lenses are like a thread mount or M39, so screw mount for Zorkis or Canon 7s or Barnett cameras. There hasn't been development for this in a long time, so if Voigtlander is actually coming out with this, it'd be amazing, as you can adapt them very easily to M mount cameras and then digital if that's your thing, but LTM does not adaptable from M, so you can't adapt an M lens to LTM. So this would be in their line of small-ish lenses. Obviously a 40mm f2.8 is not too big, but for people like me who like small and lightweight lenses that don't make the camera's front heavy, it's pretty cool. I'll give you more news as soon as we have some. Then we have Riveni Labs. We have an update and a remote trigger update too. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, Riveni Labs made a wireless remote trigger for cameras, analog cameras. So basically what it was a cable release that was remote, and you had a car key and you would screw it to your camera of choice through the cable screw port and would click the button and it would take a picture without any cables and so on. So he only made, I think, like 50 units or 40 units of this first version. I have one of them, but now he's made a new version that's actually improved and so on. So it's available now. He's, I think, going to be making 200 units. So if you're interested, let him know. And then also there's an update on his Kickstarter for the spot meter with the little backpack for the meter. The meter seems to suffer from power drainage in cold weather. So he's made this little extension backpack that takes AAA batteries and gives you tons of time, plus the flexibility of having AAAs at every gas station if you run out of battery. This will be $23.5 US, and he's got new shipping quotes, prices and so on, which are quite affordable from Canada, obviously, to the rest of the world. So that's good news from Reveni. Then we have news from Kodak, and no, it's not that new film everybody's expecting, which I can't say anything about. But we do have news from Kodak producing Ektachrome E100 in 11x14 size. So if you're ultra large format, and I have my 11x14 just out of frame here, and you like shooting slides, now you are in luck. Keith Canham, as usual, with his special orders through Kodak, is making this special order, and it's happening. It's not that it's might happen. He already has the minimum order, but if you want to add to that minimum order, this is your moment. Obviously, 11x14 slide film is not going to be cheap, but it's something you will probably never see again unless Kodak does it again. So that's the news with that. Then in the Ektachrome news, we seem to have now included in the cinematography like film stocks Ektachrome in 35mm in 400 feet and 1000 feet. And the price is quite affordable, comes to around $5 per roll of normal 36 exposures. But do bear in mind that it will come with remjet, because cinematography film has remjet for the fast pace it goes through all the cameras and so on, so it doesn't actually like melt and whatever happens in cinematography. But yeah, if you want to shoot slides for cheap, you can reload in bulk and then cut them into 36, shoot them, remove the remjet, develop an 86. Please don't send this to your lab without letting them know that it has remjet. You'll ruin their chemistry if they do it through dip and dunk or rollers and so on. Then we have, no more news, guys. So yeah, that's the news for today. As always, thanks for watching. And also remember, you can send emails to the email below. See you next week. Also, thank you to Central Camera in Chicago for giving me a pin. I visited last week. Extremely nice people. They're working towards moving to the new old store, I guess. They are next door and have limited hours. But if you can and you're local to Chicago, go, or you're visiting, give them a visit, buy some film, help them out, because they're struggling since the 2020 fire and raid that they had there during, I think, summer 2020. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye.